Good time gaming.
What's up guys, Dax from Good Time Gaming. Today I'm coming at you guys with a new build inspired by the new Scarface character that has been recently released for Payday 2. This is a Scarface build. I'm sure other people will probably do their own variations of this if they haven't already. I don't know, I've been busy playing video games and being lazy around the house. It's been wonderful. But this is my take on the build. This is kind of what I think makes the Scarface character. And this is not just some throwaway build. This is actually a very effective build. I've tried it on one down. Obviously, if it works pretty well on one down, it probably works on everything else too. Works very strong on Death Wish as well. So it should be a good build for you guys to try out and use in your own heisting career. We will be taking minions with this build, which means we're going to have basic Forced Friendship. We're going to ace Confident, Joker, and Partners in Crime. Doing that will allow us to get up to 2 cops as converted hostages, which means that we have someone else take the damage for us, someone else take the heat, and also we get some nice buffs. We'll get 10% increased movement speed, and we'll get an extra 30% health, which will be very useful for the perk deck we are running. We're going to be using a single fire weapon for this, so we're going to be taking basic Sharpshooter, Marksman, and then basic Aggressive Reload. These skills here, basically we just need to get up here to Aggressive Reload. That's kind of all that we want here. If you wanted to save points, you could probably get away without having any of that, but I like to have at least that 15% reload speed there, so that's what I'm taking. Over in Enforcer, we're going to ace Underdog to get extra damage and damage reduction when we're being fired at. We're going to ace Resilience, ace Bullseye, and take basic Shock and Awe, which will allow us to get up into Iron Man to ace that. We'll be using the ICTV armor. All these things down here will give us a little more survivability as well as armor recovery rate. Because the weapons we're going to be using are very ammo intense, we're going to be taking aced ammo. I know most of my builds I do for one down, just in general I tend to take ammo on them. You could take Inspire if you wanted to, but because the weapon we're taking, like I said, we really need to have some ammo management skills. So Ace Scavenger, Ace Extra Lead, Basic Saw Massacre, and Ace Fully Loaded is what we need in order to be able to get up here and to get the last skill here, Fully Loaded Aced. Now you could do Ace Bullet Storm and then Ace Extra Lead to get up there as well. So that is also an option. I find it to be a little more helpful to do Scavenger than to do the Ace Bullet Storm, but that's an option for those of you guys that want a different way to maybe run that. Over here in Ghost, we're going to be taking Basic Duck and Cover and Basic Parkour. The 2 skills combined will give us extra movement speed as well as stamina regeneration. In Silent Killer, we'll be taking Basic Second Wind and either Basic the Professional or Basic Optical Illusions, depending on which one you prefer there. And we'll be acing Specialized Killing to get an extra 15% damage on our silenced weapon twice. So pretty sweet there. And last but not least, over here in Fugitive, we're going to take Ace 9 Lives to give us 1 extra down before going into custody, and then Ace Swan Song. Because Swan Song is amazing and very, very helpful on one down. So you see we have 4 points left, guys. I'm going to show you guys a few options that you have for this. So we could go over here into Mastermind, and we could take Basic High Value Target, which will give us an extra 15% damage against enemies that we mark, and then put in that last point in, like, say, Steady Grip. Or you could take Basic Hostage Taker. Not a whole lot of health granted from that, but I mean, it is something. Not probably needed, though, with the kind of build that we're going to run. And of course, alternatively, you could go back over here, and you could just go ahead and ace the Professional if you really wanted to, or you could ace Parkour to get Run and Reload, which I tend to like that one quite a bit. That's why I started out originally with this build, was taking Ace Parkour, but I have also been doing Basic High Value Target, just to get a little bit extra damage on there. So, whatever you guys prefer, do what you want to. For our perk deck, we will be taking the Kingpin perk deck. This is the one that came with the Scarface character pack. It's a really nice pack. Basically, the way this pack works is that instead of having your throwable, you have an injector. You press 3 or whatever your use key is for your throwable. You use the injector, and for the next 6 seconds, you basically get healed for 75% of all damage that you take. So it's pretty handy. Very good way to kind of like keep yourself alive, draw fire from your teammates. It's just a really good little perk deck. So basically how this perk deck works is that you have 4 different uniques here. So you have Play Rough to get 10% more health, you have Public Enemy number 1 to get 10% more health, and whenever you use the injector, enemies will shoot at you instead of your teammates if they have a line of sight on you, basically. You'll have Balls versus Bullets to get 20% more health, and whenever you are below 50% health, the amount of healing you get from the injector is increased by 25%. So pretty cool there. And then last but not least, you get right to the top, you get an additional 40% health, and then for every 5 points of health gained during the injector effect while at max, the recharge time is reduced by 1 second. It has a 30-second cooldown by default. So with all this health bonuses and then what we're going to get from our buddy cop, you're going to have a lot of health. and it's pretty sweet. It's almost like having almost like Anarchist for your armor. Very, very powerful. You're gonna have tons of armor, you're gonna have tons of health. You should not die horribly too often. For our weapon, we're taking the Little Friend 762 Assault Rifle. You guys can see the stats here. We have 214.6 damage, 92 accuracy, and 72 stability. The reload time is also pretty decent. It's about 4-ish seconds. It doesn't really feel like it. I've not really had any problems with reloads thus far. Check out the mods that we have. You guys can see that I am taking the bigger the better suppressor. I have it boosted for stability. You could boost for accuracy if you wanted to. I have the single fire mod on there, the LED combo, and then I have my favorite speculator sight on there. So for my secondary, I elected to use the China Puff grenade launcher. You guys could say take the Arbiter if you really wanted to, or you could possibly take a secondary like the Jackal or the CR805B or maybe the Krinkov. I find having the explosives on both my primary and secondary is really nice, and it actually does a lot to help my ammo and help me manage that, because I can just kind of switch over to this thing, blow some people up, go back to my main, and maybe pop off a grenade with that, or kill some people with headshots, and then pick up everything. And my ammo stays pretty much full. Not all the time, but I don't really have a lot of problems with ammo as far as managing it goes with my primary or secondary. Melee weapon, I recommend using either the buzzer or the electric brass knuckles. We're going to be taking hostages, which means that we need to be able to stun them while we intimidate them. So take one or two of those, whichever one you prefer. I like the buzzer just because it's kind of cool. And it has an outlet. I mean, that's pretty sweet, right? For our deployable, we are taking ammo because obviously we spec'd into it. So yeah, we're taking ammo. So now that we've kind of covered the basics of the build, I'm going to take you guys in-game, show off some footage, and kind of yak about how this build works for a little while. So this build is pretty easy and pretty cut and dry to play, guys. You guys can kind of see how I'm using a mix of my grenade launcher and the primary fire of the Little Friend to kind of clear out this little hallway here. It also gives you kind of an idea of how much damage the weapons do. I had no problem ever killing anything. You guys can see I kind of tank a bulldozer there while he's just shooting me in the face with my injector active. In general, it's really hard to die. The times that I have died or lost a significant amount of health have been times where I've kind of taken like a big risk, or I've been kind of playing a little stupidly, like kind of right here where I'm ducking behind this and then jumping up in the air and shooting grenades and shit. Probably not the smartest thing to do, but that tends to be situations where I lose a lot of health or die. And again, you can see kind of like, I'll go through my grenades on one, I'll switch over to the other one to kind of get some new kills, get some new ammo dropped, and then go back to my primary. It's really a juggling game is what it comes down to with your primary and your secondary. Some games, or some weapons, you need to have a little bit more caution with, like, juggling your gun. Make sure you have enough of one ammo type, and you switch to your other type, and then you go back and just kind of back and forth. This is one of those times where you really have to kind of use both and make sure that you're trying to get a good return on your investment for your bullets. You want to ideally have neither gun full at any time. That way, whenever you pick up ammo, you're getting a good little healthy resupply there. You guys can see here, the captain is basically nothing. You have a shitload of health, basically almost invulnerability while your injector's active, and then 2 explosives. Captain has no chance. You guys can see kind of the swan song, how very quickly this thing fires with the secondary on the Little Friend. Definitely better to use Little Friend as opposed to China Lake, I think, whenever you have the swan song effect active. It does a lot more, fires a lot quicker. I think the damage is fairly comparable as well. You guys see a nice little chain kill there. A couple hits for each one down cop, nothing too major. Again, you see I kind of take cover to switch to my grenade, then I pop back out. Then using the buzzer to take this hostage here. You guys can see I kind of saved myself by popping my injector at the last second there, as I took a significant amount of health damage. Of course, nobody shot me after that, of course. Then here I'll use the injector to basically give myself a little bit of a buffer to step out and take a few hits and try and get that medic down in the corner. So you guys being able to do that successfully while taking quite a few hits and not dying. And again, you guys can kind of see the reload speeds here. Nothing is very long to reload. I only have the very basic 15% on aggressive reload, and that's totally fine for what I have to do here. Yeah, overall, I'm quite pleased with this build. I've been using it quite a bit on 1-down. I think if I was still going through the heists and, you know, actively trying to get my 1-down mask, I would probably use this build quite a bit. You guys know I'm pretty much like all about shotguns. My Anarchist Raven Judge build is my favorite build that I like to play, but I could very easily play this one as well and enjoy it quite a bit, I think, and have good success with it, I feel like. So hopefully this build will give you guys some success as well, and hopefully you will enjoy using it. I know I have. And fortunately, this build is really pretty light as far as DLC goes. You only really need the Scarface character pack, and then for the China Lake, you need the Wolf pack. But nothing else outside of that, so also good news there. But I will see you guys in the next video. Maybe that's going to be a build video, maybe it's going to be something else. We will have to wait and see. Let me know what you guys think of this build, and if you have tried it and if you like it, and if you like the little friend and that underbarrel grenade launcher. Personally, I'm kind of hoping that we get some more underbarrel options like as an attachment. I think that'd be pretty sweet. Like underbarrel shotgun or something like that would be pretty awesome. But I'll see you guys later. This is Axie, a Good Time Gaming. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share if you like anything you saw today. And remember to always have a good time gaming.